Pigs is Pigs by Ellis Parker Butler. Part 1. The Correct Price for Pigs. Mr. Flannery worked for the Interurban Express Company. The company delivered parcels all over America. This morning, Mr. Flannery was very angry. His customer, Mr. Morehouse, was also very angry.
"You decide,"
shouted Mr. Flannery. He indicated the box in front of him. The box contained 2 small guinea pigs. They were happy to eat their food.
"You can pay for them and take them away, or you can leave them here. But rules are rules, Mr. Morehouse."
"You're an idiot," shouted Mr. Morehouse. "The company rules are very clear. Look." Mr. Morehouse indicated a book on the counter. Then he read aloud. "Domestic pets in boxes, Franklin to Westcote, 25 cents each. These are domestic pets. They're in boxes, and they came from Franklin to Westcote. I'll pay 25 cents each. There are 2 of them. I'll pay you 50 cents. Mr. Flannery picked up the rule book. Now he began to read what it said.
"I know they're domestic pets,"
Mr. Flannery said angrily.
"and the price for domestic pets is 25 cents. But they're also pigs. I know that too. And the price for pigs is 30 cents each. You'll have to pay 30 cents each. That's 60 cents for 2.
"That's ridiculous," replied Mr. Morehouse. "That rule means ordinary pigs, not guinea pigs. It's obvious. The correct rate is 25 cents each." Mr. Flannery was very stubborn.
"Pigs are pigs,"
he said.
"The company doesn't care. They are all pigs. Pigs are not domestic animals, and you must pay the rate for pigs."
Mr. Morehouse was silent for a moment. "Very well," he said at last. "I offered you 50 cents, and you refused. I'll write to the president of the company and tell him everything. Keep the pigs, but you must look after them very well. Nothing must happen to them." Mr. Morehouse left the office. Mr. Flannery opened the box with the guinea pigs inside. He looked at them. They were happy. Mr. Flannery was happy. He knew the rules about pigs. Part 2. Letters about Pigs. Mr. Morehouse was very angry when he arrived home. He wrote a long letter to the president of the company. He explained the problem about the rate for the guinea pigs. About a week later, Mr. Morehouse received a letter from the Interurban Express Company. Interurban Express Company. Dear Sir, please write to the Claims Department. Yours faithfully. Mr. Morehouse now wrote to the Claims Department of the company. A few weeks later, he received a reply from the Claims Department of the Interurban Express Company. Interurban Express Company. Dear Sir, the pigs are in Mr. Flannery's office. You did not pay anything to the company. You must write to the Tariff Department about the correct rate for the delivery of the pigs. Yours faithfully. Mr. Morehouse now wrote to the Tariff Department of the Interurban Express Company. The manager of the Tariff Department, Mr. Morgan, told his secretary to write to Mr. Flannery.
"He didn't pay the domestic rate. Ask him to explain,"
he ordered.
"and find out the present condition of the animals."
Mr. Flannery received the letter from the Tariff Department.
"Present condition of the animals?"
he read.
"What does that mean?" "I'll look at them."
He walked to the back of the office. There was a cage there. Mr. Flannery looked inside. He began to count carefully.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He counted.
And all of them very well.
Mr. Flannery went back into his office and wrote to the tariff department of the company.
Dear Sir, pigs are pigs. There are now 8 pigs. They are all well. They eat a lot. I paid $2 for their food. Will Mr. Morehouse pay for their food? Yours faithfully.
Mr. Morgan, the head of the tariff department, read Mr. Flannery's letter. He was very serious.
Flannery is right,
he told his secretary.
Pigs are pigs.
Then he wrote another letter to Mr. Flannery.
Interurban Express Company. Dear Mr. Flannery, the rules are clear. When the animals eat food, the customer must pay for it. Collect the $2 from Mr. Morehouse. Yours sincerely, Morgan. Collect it?
Mr. Flannery thought.
I don't know how to do that.
Suddenly, he had an idea. Part 3. Pigs will never be pigs again. Mr. Flannery drove to Mr. Morehouse's house. Mr. Morehouse smiled when he came out of the house. "So you've brought the guinea pigs at last," he said.
No, sir,
replied Mr. Flannery.
I've got a bill for $2 for their food. Will you pay it?
$2, explained Mr. Morehouse. For food for 2 guinea pigs? That's ridiculous. I certainly won't pay it.
There aren't 2 pigs,
Mr. Flannery told him.
There are 8 of them now.
Mr. Morehouse closed the door of the house loudly. Mr. Flannery drove back to his office. Mr. Flannery wrote again to Mr. Morgan, the head of the tariff department. This time, Mr. Morgan spoke to the president of the Interurban Express Company.
Are they domestic pets or are they pigs?
Mr. Morgan wanted to know. The president thought for a moment. Then he said,
I don't know. I'll write to Professor Gordon. He's an expert. He'll know.
Unfortunately, Professor Gordon was in South America. The letter from the president of the Interurban Express Company arrived after many months. The president forgot about the problem. Mr. Morgan forgot about the problem. Even Mr. Morehouse forgot about the problem. Mr. Flannery, however, did not forget about the problem. He wrote again to Mr. Morgan.
Dear Mr. Morgan, what about these pigs? There are now 32 of them. They still eat a lot. My office is now like a zoo. Shall I sell the pigs? Yours sincerely, Flannery.
Mr. Morgan wrote back immediately.
Dear Mr. Flannery, do not sell the pigs. They belong to Mr. Morehouse. The company must continue to look after them. Yours sincerely, Morgan.
Mr. Flannery built a special place for the guinea pigs outside the office. A few months later, he wrote to Mr. Morgan again. His letter was very short.
Dear Mr. Morgan, 160 pigs. Yours sincerely, Flannery.
At last a letter came from Professor Gordon. He explained everything to the president of the company. Guinea pigs are not pigs. They belong to a completely different family and species.
Then the 25-cent rate is the correct one,
the president of the company decided. Mr. Morgan now wrote to Mr. Flannery.
Dear Mr. Flannery, please deliver the 160 guinea pigs to Mr. Morehouse. He must pay 25 cents for each guinea pig. Yours sincerely, Morgan.
Mr. Flannery wrote back immediately to Mr. Morgan.
Dear Mr. Morgan, there are not 160 pigs. There are now 800. Do I have to charge Mr. Morehouse for 160 or for 800? Yours sincerely, Flannery.
The Interurban Express Company considered the problem very carefully. This took time, and the number of guinea pigs increased every day. Now Mr. Flannery counted 4,064 of them. At last Mr. Flannery received a letter from the company. Interurban Express Company, dear Mr. Flannery, collect for 2 guinea pigs 50 cents. Deliver them all to Mr. Morehouse. Yours sincerely, Morgan. Once again, Mr. Flannery drove to Mr. Morehouse's home. Mr. Morehouse did not live there any more. Mr. Flannery asked the company for orders. The company told him to send the guinea pigs to the head office of the Interurban Express Company. Mr. Flannery began to send the cages of guinea pigs to the company. The company received cages of guinea pigs for days and days. Mr. Flannery sent 280 cages in 1 week. The company now sent him a telegram. Interurban Express Company, stop sending guinea pigs. Warehouse full. And Mr. Flannery sent another telegram back.
Can't stop, Flannery.
The company sent an inspector to Mr. Flannery's office. The company's wagon was full of guinea pigs.
That's the last of them,
shouted Mr. Flannery angrily.
I'll know what to do with animals next time, he said. Forget the rules. That's what I'll do. Pigs are pets. Cows are pets. Horses are pets. And lions and tigers are pets. Everything goes at 25 cents.
The wagon drove away with the last guinea pigs.
There's one good thing,
Mr. Flannery said happily.
At least those pigs weren't elephants.
You will hear a dialogue between John and his mother.
John, please bring me my glasses.
Here you are, Mum.
John, did you take the dog out this morning?
Yes, I took it out before lunch.
But the rubbish is still here, John. When are you going to take it away?
OK, Mum. I'll bring you a nice cup of tea and then take it out.
Oh, John, would you bring me some biscuits with my tea?
All right, Mum.
And when you go out with the rubbish, don't forget to take the clothes to the laundry. And while you're at it, remember to take those films to be developed. John, are you listening? John? John, are you listening to me?